Gotta tell this story, so, gotta tell this story. Last night, it's like weird, you know what I mean? Should be happening, and now it feels like because everybody's in such isolation, we all are in like intentionally like their circumstances being manipulated depending on what level of the game they're at. It's like you gotta document your shit because they're gonna try to control your narrative. You know what I mean? And just make you look bad so that nobody can get the truth. You know, everybody's getting shade thrown at them and mud slung on their names and all that. But I've been car camping for 3 different cars by now in different places. Sometimes I get office space, sometimes I don't, or in the process of getting one in a different state. You know, I'm outside with it and be parking in spots that I find that's chill, that I feel like it's chill enough to where it could sustain the night. Not too much lighting to where I could just, because I like pitch black or whatever as much as possible so my mind could quiet. But, you know, I'm out here where I'm at, and then it's like it's been progressive for different, 3 different states, from Oregon to Washington to Montana, progressively more tribal, whatever, closer to the essence, Native American travels, Trail of Tears, etc. And you know what I mean? It'd be like motherfuckers just every city, everybody's talking about the gang stalk, and I've been talking about this shit since 2000, and really since the first album I did was about like the torture that you're born with. But then I come to apply it to the actual experience of being a native, what the Trail of Tears was for us. But then I started talking about it probably like 2016, 2015, if you listen to like Making Moves, homie, I don't play to lose. When I go outside, they on my dick, this shit is breaking news. For my niggas pushing packs, getting chicken back, scribble raps, loose, on mod. Every time I step outside, there's a program trying to intercept my vibe. Thank God I'm fresh. I glide over any bullshit. I still was acquiring the language to, explain it. It wasn't as publicized, but it's kind of comforting to know that everybody's talking about it now. But at the same time, it still feels like one of those things where everybody's looking at each other like who's real and who's not. And that part makes it difficult to like find. It's like an internal COINTELPRO. They just start putting hella goofy ass. Like I seen this Latin chick doing her makeup talking about it, and it's like she had the language, but she didn't have the disposition. So it's kind of like, these things throw us off. And then her next video is like, oh, why women want money, prefer money, always go for money. And it's like people infiltrating, because to me, I get it, but this whole thing is like, it's deeper than that. It's like I'm not trying to justify my proclivities by this. This is just something that happens to me, whether I'm getting money or whether I'm chilling in the fucking woods. You know what I mean? This is just based on blood lineage, based on intellect, based on spirit. So I feel like it gets muddy in the waters. Like there's women outside living in tents. They really going through it. So it's just one of those things where it makes it difficult to find the real resonance. You be reaching out for people like, yo, we homies, you know what I mean? And then it just almost like when you try to connect with people, it makes it seem more like they ain't fucking with you, or like they looking at you like, nigga, you thirsty ass, you must be fake, or you know what I mean? Like, I'm over here, this is my mound. And it, that's what I've experienced when I try to like connect with people online, because we all in these boxes, literally. And trying to win some kind of like favor or prove that we are conscious, because they're trying to make us seem like smear campaign. But let me get to the story. So last night, and this ain't something where I'm like, oh my God, it's just more so like, well, it finally happened, because I've been resisting stalking a nigga for years. grocery stores, restaurants, the mall, freeway, you know what I mean? Being just posted up, park, niggas come pull up next to you, boom, bumping music hella loud at midnight with a bitch, you know what I mean? And it's just like the bitch is laughing. It's supposed to make me jealous or something because I'm by myself. And it just happens so many times. I'll be watching a movie or whatever on my phone, and it just, they be playing out. And I have such a dossier on this. It's just like I could see it in advance. But this particular night, last night, I don't know if it was a full moon or whatever, but my first time eating some animal protein in a while, which was naturally, they say it was sourced from a farm, whatever, but it put me in that mind frame, I guess. I'm trying to explain it to myself because I'll be so chill. I'll be so like, man, you dumbass niggas, you goofy ass niggas. Like, I'll verbally respond to them in a way that's just like, minimize that shit. You know what I mean? Y'all stupid. But it didn't go that way this time. And it was just one of those nights, you know what I mean? Just, I think the energy's in the air based on what's corresponding. And so I'm in the whip in the back, just like watching a movie. And then they pull up, and there's a pond in front of me, but there's bushes in front of the pond. And then they go, I'm like, oh, here we go again. But I let it go. I'll be trying to like be beyond it and like, oh, they're just living. They're just living too, you know what I mean? But then they start laughing hella loud. It's like 11 p.m. something. The chicks laughing. They're damn near on the other side of the pond, and it's like they're the only thing I can hear now because the windows is kind of open. Just yeah, just the whole thing. To try to be like, what we're doing is way more lit than what you're doing. I hope you feel bad about what you're doing, type shit. And then I ain't smoked no weed in a minute or a spliff. I got pains from car accident bullshit, but it's like, I tap in to just kind of like do my shamanic thing, and a lot of good work gets done sometimes in the spirit. But since I've been out here, I've been sobes, and I think it's more so just because I don't want to give nobody no reason to try to just to test it out. Like, let me see psychologically. Let me just go in. So I just been sleepless nights, whatever, just thugging through it because it's like I'm gonna prove this point. But so then it's happening, they're doing their laughing thing, and then it got so egregious. I just out the window, I was like, it don't matter. You know what I mean? That was on me. But it's more so I'm saying it to myself to be like, yeah, fuck that shit. But then also, because they'll really have you thinking like there's something wrong with you over the course of years of this treatment. You know what I mean? There's those one days where it's like, damn. But at the same time, it's like, I know who I am. So I more so just was like, sometimes you get rambunctious too. It's like, all right, fuck y'all niggas. But I just say it don't matter. And then time, maybe like a minute passes of them just, in the pond over there. And the dude out here is one dude. Now I know in retrospect, it's one dude and two girls, pierced up girls, like the whole like depraved, like oversized hoodie, like, Avril Lavigne face ass bitches. But shout out to Avril, but you know what I mean. And he says, I hear him say, it's loud as fuck. Like, think about it from across the pond. I have to hear this. He said, to one of them, he says, you better watch out before you get raped by a homeless guy. And, I'm the only one in the car currently going through something. And there was a dude that tried to check me or say something to me at the gym about brushing my teeth in the bathroom, and he was like staring at me through the window or the mirror, and I almost fought him in the gym just because it's like those days where it's like hot, shit's happening, you know what I mean? You trying to eat, you trying to survive, and shit's just accumulating, and it's like, you square ass nigga, like, let's go outside, but obviously you try to avoid that because I don't like being around niggas, let alone touching on them, but you just want to, you know what I mean? Sometimes your fist just be itching. It's just like, man, I'm going to stick this motherfucker. No homo. But he said, no, I don't want to fight. And then that was that at the gym. But this dude, when he said that, I got out the car. It was almost like, that was it. I got out the car and I went to the edge of the pond. They were still on the other side of the pond. And I think I said, like, what did you say, or something like that, or say that again, or, you know, just like questioning him. And then he said, fuck you. Like, and then me and him kind of got back into it, to where it's like, who you talking to? And then he's just like, fuck you type shit. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna wait by the car. I'm gonna basically I told him I was gonna kill him. You know what I mean? It was just like I was in that mind of just like, I'm gonna kill your ass and throw you in the pond. And wrong on my behalf, I guess, you know, but it's like, think about accumulation of day after day after day after day after day after day after day. In the grocery store, on the job, not on the job. Clusters of privileged motherfuckers just always having the fucking most bisexual ass voices. Yeah, and then the women, and they're all doing the serpentine, like, yeah, I'm gonna talk to you, but not to you. And they keep doing it to the point to where it's like they're disrespecting my intelligence. I put headphones on, they crowd me at the register, at the self-checkout. I'm in the aisles, they jumping out the aisles. You know what the fuck going on. If you hip to this shit, you know what I'm talking about. And that's why I be trying to reach out to y'all niggas. But hey, but yeah, I was just like, I'm gonna wait by the car then. You know what I mean? Because he was cussing me out, and then the bitch he was with, she did the whole speech like, yeah, oh my God, he can't even, he's a hater. Hate just lives in people's hearts and they can't deal with, and love is the answer, and we just have to fight and maintain love, and all these people, these hateful people, like she narrative flipped it on me like she wasn't participating in gang stalking, which was so ridiculous that I was just like, yeah, this is the one. This is the time when it's about to get funky, because you know what's going on with me. I got my brother he left the earth. I guarantee you this was happening to him. I tried to help him. My parents didn't want to hear me out. They sent him back outside. They got him. You know what I mean? Me, I'm a little bit more rugged because obviously, as you can see, I've been through shit from junior high, elementary school, with motherfuckers trying to take my head off, gangs, chinos, motherfucking Mexican gangs, you know what I mean? Trying to come for me. And I had nobody. It was just me. So I had to make decisions on that based on a nigga who's trying to achieve something. I'm going to let this slide because I got dreams. But now when I see all this fallacy and the dreams kind of like by the wayside, because I'm recognizing it was a destiny swap and all these people was trying to steal my ideas and all this, it's like I don't necessarily have the same mission to live for. And now it's like, well, what's on the list that I could do that I haven't done? It's like, sock this nigga. So I told him I'm going to wait by the car. And I was just sitting there, and she was professing all of this, you know, altruistic, I'm an asshole for wanting to, you know what I mean, interrupt their good time. And it was just so, you know, women be knowing how to do that talk thing to fuck niggas' heads up. And that's a lot of what I'm talking about. Is like, niggas be getting thrown under the bus on behalf of the desire for silk and charcuteries and bullshit. You know what I mean? So she probably put the battery in his back to say the stupid shit because she wanted to see him crash out. But I ended up, you know what I mean, participating. And it's like, I don't want to say it's a regret because I socked that nigga, you know what I mean? But he comes through the bushes. I'm sitting by the car. They talk. She says that whole thing. I don't cuss back at her. I just sit there. I'm just like, all right, I'm not about to yell across the pond to you. He already said fuck me, disrespected me, you know what I mean? Myriad of ways. And I know they're all powered up by the safety that they feel like they have with the police and their community, like getting phone texts like, oh, you might make, I don't know what you niggas is getting paid. I don't know why you keep doing it, but niggas driving by, I'm in that same parking spot for weeks. Niggas driving by throwing weed canisters at the car, revving their engines like all hours of the night, just trying to like turn me up, you know? So this is the night I had it. He walks through, you know, from around the pond, and he's like, what's up, bruh? It's you? What's up? And then it was just one of them things where I didn't question it, you know what I mean? I just walked up to him, bop, you know, just straight right to the chin, you know what I mean? And from there we were scuffling. I hit him I probably should have went with the hook, but it was just like I didn't even think about it. It was 11 Dark Knight. I didn't even see his face really. It was just like a pale motherfucker that walked up to me and was, the same nigga. They was behind him, so it was me. It was he and and I just stuck that nigga in his chin, and we started scuffling. But I feel like I stuck him, and then he went to try to dip me. I threw a couple punches, but he went to try to dip me, and we was on gravel. So then we, you see my knees and all this shit, and whatever, because you could tell it's just like some scrapes. He didn't really, but it is. So when he tried to, dip me, I just got him in the choke, and then I was about to like choke him out. Just rage, I was about to put him to sleep in my mind. And then she runs up and it's like, like I think she tried to pull me off or something, and like got in the way. I'm not about to hit the woman. And it was like I snapped out of it, but I was about to choke him out I was about to hold that motherfucker. And then she starts getting in the middle, and there's a back and forth conversation of like, by this time, I think my nose is bleeding because, we scuffling on the ground. My nose been broken, so I've been having nosebleeds my whole life. But, and then I end up explaining to him why I stuck him, you know what I mean? And he's like, I've been there. Shit was weird, bro. Like, the whole thing was like a bogus-ass interaction. I just wanted to punch this nigga in his face, and I got the job done. I achieved that. And then when we was, we was on the ground, I was like, raining down blows, but it just ended up her making a whole scene, screaming at the top of her lungs like I was the most monstrous person ever. How dare I? And, then I'm looking at them, I'm just like, y'all going to hell. In my mind, this is what I'm doing to just save my sense of like spirit and peace. It's like, y'all are a part of this whole thing. So I'm basically hitting him on behalf of every other nigga I let pass. And she's just cursing me and just like, So I started walking back to the car, but I basically looked in the eyes with the native spirit. I was like, y'all going to, and then we're going to hell. Yeah. Just, she screams like the blood curdling screams, like one of those things where the chick is just trying to overpower what just happened with her own narcissism of just like, you're the problem. You know what I mean? And just doing that. And I went back to the car. I was walking back to the car after, kind of like he was already on the passenger side. Like she got in the way. He went back to the passenger side and was getting back in the car. The other girl, the blonde, silent Bob girl, she was in the car, but she looked like Jake. She was blonde. Silent Bob was the one that was being loud because she was brunette. But all of them piercings, so they worship the devil and they be listening to like metalcore and shit. I don't know what the fuck that was on, but they probably vaping, it is what it is. But so then I'm walking back to the car. I'm like on the side of the car, the back door to the second door, passenger side. I'm laying in the back, I'm opening that door while kind of being like, yeah, whatever, get the fuck out of here. Not saying get the fuck out of here, but it's like, oh, it's over now. She's still cursing me. She's like, oh, you want to get crazy? Let's get crazy. And then she jumps in the car, turns the car on, backs out, and she's basically about to T-bone the side of the car with me and basically smash me into the car. She does that, like, and then last second dips off. And that's what happened. And then basically, I'm so adrenaline, but then I look at myself and it's like, damn, my whole shit got scraped. So somehow when we hit the ground, when he, the gravel, we slipped my knees, and then I must have like, cause my gum, like my lip, it's like all rash, like, nothing broken or nothing, but just swollen from just one impact. And I stuck that nigga though. That's all I'm saying. I've been the person to let a lot of shit slide and people thought it was a game. And I'm not bragging. I'm just saying.